Sorry. Anyway, so we're speaking about the idea that if you have a chabura and the chabura goes ahead and loses their Pesach, they send out one of the members of the chabura to go ahead and look for it. So also remember again, we had this whole Mishnah. There was a discussion, then they end up finding a replacement animal, shechting a replacement animal. So there's a whole discussion about, which animal is used for the Karban Pesach, who uses what. So the Mishnah gave a case where, let's say again, the Chabura has the Karban Pesach. They lost the Karban Pesach. Reuven goes out to find the Karban. In the interim, the Chabura appoints a new Karban. Sets aside a new Karban. And then what Mishnah said, if neither party said anything to the other, right? Reuven didn't say anything to the Chabura. In other words, pretty much he acted unilaterally. The Chabura didn't say anything to Reuven. So what's the halacha? Reuven uses the Karban Pesach that he found. The Chabura uses the replacement of Karban Pesach, and Shalom al Yisrael. So the Gemara points out the idea that there's something very profound when people don't talk to each other. There's a profundity when people talk, and there's a profundity when people are silent. So the Gemara, this was on Tzaddik Tesam Aleph, said, Mikan amru chachamim, yafesh tika lechachamim, kal v'chomer l'tipshim. Right? So from here, the wise men said, so silence is good for wise men, kal v'chomer alachas kam, all the more so for fools. So here's a perfect example of where you see. Now again, is that a statement of Torah? Is that a religious statement? Is that no? So it's a life statement. It was quite fascinating about this, and you find this all the time, where the Gemara will quote something. Sometimes it'll quote it with the introduction of Margola Bepumei, a jewel, right, or a gem in the mouth of people. So you'll see the Gemara will quote statements, and again, that's not a statement of Torah. That's a statement of life wisdom, Yet, interestingly enough, remember, it's brought down in the midst of a halachic discussion, and it's brought as we'll call it as a proof to a halachic discussion. So HaTzaddik says, what do you see from here? He says, Afilu dibur kazeh harogil etzel ish hahamoni va'pashut b'yosem Yisrael. See again a statement that is a simple statement. It happens to be in this time the Gemara was quoting the sages. But many times when the Gemara does this, it's not quoting a sage, right? It's not quoting anyone of particular piety. Often Margola Bepumei de Inshi is just a thing that people say all of the time. He goes on, he says, you find this very often throughout the Gemara. Shemevi b'Gemara esmad da amri Inshi, where the Gemara will quote that which regular people say. Sha'anoshim regilim lomar. V'divrei Torah. And ultimately, again, when it's quoted by the Gemara, is quoted in the context, or the quotation actually makes it into divrei Torah. Mechivan shakol min chachma da'amri inshi, rakshu chachma amitis usvas emes, hiram zabatorah. Ukimo kemuvan parakama de Sanhedrin, harbe piskamim shel hahu dahava ka'amar va'azil. So, for example, he quotes over here, we'll see some examples of this, that the Gemara Masechah Sanhedrin quotes the idea, or quotes many sayings, just quotes sayings in the name of people, right? This was something that people were accustomed to say. Adam echad hayaragil, lomar piskam kach v'kach, va'amar Shmuel ala piskam ahu, krok siv. So hari sha'av, let me just read 2 more lines. Hari sha'av shabala piskam, lo yada sheyesh ledvarav mekar b'Torah, Afa pikin gila Shmuel shem divrei Torah, veish lahavi smach umekar ledvarim min Torah. So this is fascinating. So he quotes over here. We'll see this inside a bit more tomorrow. But HaTzaddik quotes from the Gemara Masechah Sanhedrin, and the Gemara Masechah Sanhedrin quotes just a number of pitgamim, right? A number of sayings of just regular people. Right? Regular people used to say this, used to say that. And what Shmuel would then do is something fascinating, is he would take these regular sayings of ordinary people, and he would say, there's a pasuk that supports this idea. So HaTzaddik says, so you see something fascinating developing over here. You see Chazal taking quotations of ordinary, everyday people, what we call margula bepume, a jewel, right, a gem in the mouth of an individual. We see again Gemara Masechah Sanhedrin quoting in the Gemara statements of regular, everyday people, and then we find Shmuel going ahead and saying, oh, by the way, those statements that you thought was an ordinary statement, there's a Gemara, there's a Pasuk, there's a Mishnah, there's different, again, sources of halacha and hashkafa and Torah that support these very assertions. So we'll say, what does this mean? Right? What's the deeper meaning of this? What does this mean that ultimately, again, the Gemara is quoting from regular people? And Meir Hashem will stop over here, we'll pick up with this idea tomorrow. So we'll understand, HaTzaddik is going to develop this quite beautifully and dramatically as a continuation of that which was said in the previous os, as well as building what I think is just an incredible paradigm for us going forward. So we'll stop over here. Shkoyach.